going down? Hallelujah, FM, Revolt Radio. You know what it is, 97.5. And we are here with none other than the great DeVon Franklin. What's up, my guy? Man, you up in here. Welcome to Nashville, homie.
Man, thanks for having me.
Now, tomorrow night, tonight and tomorrow, you're going to be at Mount Zion.
Yes.
With Bishop Walker.
Yep, preaching in Mount Zion with Bishop Walker, man. Listen, that's a good buddy, and grateful to be here, man. Dude, he's got me working, literally, man. I mean, I'm doing 5 services from Saturday, as you know, tonight, 5 o'clock.
Right.
And then Sunday, man, they got me going at, 7 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8, hold on, I'm looking right here. We go. 7 a.m., 8:15, 9:30, and 11:15.
Woo!
Dude.
Man, you working, man.
Come on now.
So what's up? You gonna get a church anytime soon doing all this stuff?
No, I ain't trying to get nobody's church. But I'm excited to bring a relationship weekend. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Our relationship weekend. Going to be talking, to singles, those that are in relationships, those that are married,
right.
And using themes from my book to really talk about where we got to go in this area as a culture.
Now, this is the 3rd book.
This is the 4th book.
The 4th book?
Yeah, the 1st book was produced by Faith.
Well, I'm not counting the devotion.
No, the 4th book was produced by Faith. The
Okay.
2nd one was The Weight. The 3rd one was The Hollywood Commandments. And the 4th one is The Truth About Men.
Yes.
The devotional technically would be the 5th book.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. The Truth About Men. Listen, man. What men and women need to know. First and foremost, in the beginning, you said you started out to even write it.
That's right.
Now, what's the motivation behind it?
I didn't want to write it because, first of all, as men, we don't like to do our work.
Yeah.
We definitely don't like to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And I knew that. So I was like, oh, man, this is crazy to write a book that's challenging us as men to do our work and giving women information that they currently don't know.
Right.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, I decided I needed to write the book for 2 reasons. One, love and pain. One, love, I don't think we as men know how to love ourselves. And I don't think that we really practice loving others very well.
Yeah.
And also receiving love. So when we don't operate in love, it I think by default puts us in a position where we inflict pain. Not intentionally, but a lot of times when we're not operating in love, we then treat somebody based upon what we want, not necessarily what's good for them. Everything has to be on our terms.
Okay.
And so the other reason in terms of pain is I see so much pain in the eyes of women that come to me for help, advice,
man, I feel you.
that the pain that they've experienced at the hands of men. And I don't mean physical pain, I just mean like emotional pain, mental pain, and the idea that a lot of men say one thing and do something else.
Yeah.
So I wanted to write this book to help show us as men how to love, help reduce the pain in the lives and the experiences of women, and bring us both as men and women together.
Yeah. Now, with a message like this, man, and what's in the book, it's so powerful, it's so strong, and there are different classes of men. Did you specifically write it to a certain type of man, or did you just say, okay,
all of us?
All of us? Because, I really want to speak for millennials, and I really want to speak for street dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because this information is truly needed here.
Yeah.
With them. You know what I'm saying?
Without a doubt.
And that's the lane, really, that I'm called to, being that's where I'm from. So, in saying that, man, how do we get this message to brothers that ain't gonna pick up a book? You know what I'm saying? But they need to hear it.
Yeah.
How do you how are you gonna get that?
I mean, that's why I'm so committed to it. So it really requires, a multi-pronged approach. So much of it is doing what I'm doing now, talking about it, publicizing it, putting it out in the culture, using social media. We've moved about 30,000 units of this book in 1 month, which is great, which is a good sign to get it in the culture. But so much of it is to keep going, and for those that are hearing it, to spread it and share it, so we get to a place ultimately where the man that may not have wanted to hear it, he has no choice but to hear it because the conversation about this book has gotten so loud.
Do you think that if men get in their rightful place, do you think that will fix the type of women that's out here in the culture now? We're talking about the Instagram, girls begging for attention, taking the naked pictures, this, that, and the third. Even women that go as far as acting like men. You know what I'm saying? Kind of running through, saying that, hey, you do it, I can do it too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just a firm believer, when God made man, you know what I'm saying? He placed him as the head, and whatever he did, it made the woman, she takes it and incubates it, give it back greater than how he gave it. So if he hurt her, if he abused her, if he cheated on her, the best cheaters are the women, you know what I'm saying? The ones that abuse most are the women. So if men get back in their place, do you think that will fix what's been going on with the woman today?
Well, I wrote the book from the standpoint of what we as men need to do better, not from a standpoint of what women need to do better.
Right.
Because I believe that women are already doing their work. I believe that women are operating in love, and so I think for me, I want us as men to look in the mirror about what we can do. What can we do?
Yeah.
How can we become the men we were called to be? How can we operate in love? And even when you go back to Genesis and you look at the story of Adam and Eve, God created Adam, and He said it's not good for Adam to be alone.
Yeah.
He took the rib out of Adam. He created Eve.
Right.
Eve doesn't come into the earth saying, "Where's Adam?" Adam is the one that says, "Hey, this is bone of my bone."
Yeah.
Adam is the one that is actually incomplete without her.
Yeah.
Eve has 2 ribs. Adam doesn't.
Yeah.
This is so important because so often the culture tells us as men that we shouldn't commit, that we should run from commitment, and that for women, if something's wrong with you if you're single. And I'm saying that's absolutely not true.
Yeah.
There's actually the opposite. Something wrong with us as men if we're single. Something's going on if we don't commit.
And I'm glad you said that, because one of the dopest lines that I thought is, some men intentionally avoid commitment because they're addicted to the chase.
Yes.
Why are men addicted to the chase, bro?
Because
where do we get that from?
Man, well, listen, I think that, we get it from 2 things. One, believing that the more women, the better. That's part of it.
Okay.
And I don't think that that's actually true. The other part is that we're addicted to it because there is pleasure in it. It's like, when you're in that honeymoon stage of, finding the right woman and hanging out and everything is just, euphoria and infatuation. That feels good. Yeah. Because you have no accountability. You have no responsibility. Yeah. Once all that wears off and you have to then become accountable and responsible, that's when a lot of men will say, no, that's too hard, I'm going to run. But I encourage men through this book, commit. That's when you're going to find out who you are. Commit. That's when your power is going to be revealed. Commit. That's when you're going to really begin to identify the power source that you have as a man when you say, I'm going to be committed to her and I'm going to see this all the way through. It doesn't mean that it's going to work out. Sometimes you commit and it doesn't work. That's just life. But to run from it because you are addicted to the chase, at the end of the day, that's going to do not only damage to yourself, but when we as men operate that way, we inflict so much damage to women that they are just innocent bystanders to so many men's escapades. And that's why I wanted to write this book, because there's some men, like you're saying earlier, that may not do their work. But any woman that reads this book will now have information. She can identify who that man is. She can identify the type of man she's dealing with. And with knowledge, there's power. So this book will empower women especially to potentially be able to avoid the pitfalls of dealing with men who never had their intention as their priority to begin with.
I know people are listening to this and like, what got you to this place, man, to speak and have the wisdom that did you grow up with your parents?
I grew up with my mother. My father died when I was 9 years old.
Now, see, that's crazy because, statistically,
that's right.
Little boys that don't have their fathers don't have this type of guidance, don't have this type of wisdom. Where does it come from?
It just comes from life. It comes from being raised by my mother, my grandmother, my grandmother's 7 aunts, and, spending a lot of time with them. 2 of them, my grandmother and 1 other sister died, but my 6 great aunts are still alive. My mother's still alive. And so spending time with them, and just hearing about life and reading and just trying to figure this out. Life is not easy.
It's so right.
Being spirit and flesh is hard. Yeah. So it's just something I've always been curious about. Well, how do we do this? How do we live the best life? How do we become who we're called to be? And at the same time, being honest with our shortcomings. And that's what this book does. I don't point the finger in the book. I'm saying, hey, this is hard. I struggle with it too. Yeah. But I also say, here's what we can do together to become better.
You put dog a lot in here.
That's right. That's right.
So men are dogs?
No, men are not dogs. But we can act like one.
Yes, we can.
And yes, the reason why is because I use the metaphor of a dog. Yeah. Because I say that love in a man is the master. Lust in a man is the dog.
Ooh, that's good.
Yep. And that's why we can behave, and there's nothing cute about an untrained dog. It's like, listen, you think, it's cute, then leave it at home by itself alone. Yeah. What's it going to do? Yeah. It's going to tear up your couch. It's going to use the bathroom where it ain't supposed to. It's going to get into stuff. And then when you come home, right, the issue, it's so fascinating. I talk about this in the book. But using this metaphor, a lot of people have an opinion about it, but I use it for a reason because I think it works. With that analogy of an untrained dog. Right. When you come home, that dog is waiting to see, what are you going to do? Are you going to hold me accountable? Because I know what I did when you were gone. Yeah. Or are you just going to let me have a pass? A lot of times when you say, it's so cute, we don't hold it accountable. What happens? It learns I can do what I want and still get what I want. Ooh. And so as men, what happens? We sometimes will use our manhood
Yeah.
to manipulate women.
Yeah.
We know we're acting a mess. We know we've created a mess, but we don't want them to hold us accountable. And some women, when they're afraid to lose us, they don't hold us accountable for behavior that they know they should. So then what happens? That man's like, oh, well, I can do whatever I want. Not so. That's why I say that as a man, there has to be something in us, regardless to what a woman may or may not do, or regardless to what she may allow and what she may not allow. As a man, the man's got to look in the mirror and decide, what kind of man do I want to be?
Yeah.
Am I going to be a man that's going to heal pain or inflict pain?
Yeah.
Period. And am I going to be a man that's going to learn to start getting control of this lust?
Yeah.
Because if I don't, similar to an untrained dog, if I as a man do not get control of my lust, I will become selfish. I will become pleasure seeking for pleasure's sake. I will become manipulative. I will become what that lust makes me. But I also have to realize that at the same time that lust can be detrimental, I do have love in me. The love of myself, the love of God, love of the woman in my life, love of family. I have that in me. So if I can just put the master in control, it doesn't make it easy. It's not easy, but you have a process now. Oh, practicing love, selflessness, sacrifice. Got it. That as a man opens up our potential. So yes, I use the analogy of dog, but I use it in a way to help point to the solution, not to continue to categorize us in a way that is not accurate.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Man, you're not just an author, you're a Hollywood producer.
That's right.
Franklin Entertainment.
Yeah, man.
You got a new movie about to drop.
Yes.
Breakthrough. Tell us about that.
Oh, man, I'm so excited about
Yeah.
Breakthrough. It comes out April 17th.
My boy Montel, he saw Montel Jordan saw a
he
sneak
came to-
preview.
Yep,
Yeah.
I invited him to a screening, man. I'm so grateful that he and his wife and his kids came out. This is a true story of a mother who prays her son back to life after he died falling through a frozen lake. True story. This just happened a couple years ago. John Smith was 14 years old. He was out playing on the ice with some friends. The ice started to melt as the sun came out. He and his friends fell through the ice. His other two friends got out, but he died. He drowned. He was underneath the ice for 15 minutes, no oxygen. When the paramedics pulled him out, he was lifeless. No pulse, no brain activity, not breathing at all. They take him to the emergency room. They try to revive him for 45 more minutes. They cannot do it. They go to his mother, who's in the waiting room, and they say, we've done all we can do for your son. If you want to say goodbye, now's the time. She goes into the emergency room. She looks at her son laying on the table, and she says, I refuse to believe this. She said, I'm not going to accept that my son is dead. So instead of saying goodbye, she begins to pray loudly and boldly. And she puts her hands on his feet and says, Holy Spirit, bring back my son. Next thing you know, her son's heart starts beating again. And immediately, instantaneously. And that was the beginning of, this whole, tapestry of miracles that ultimately led to her son fully recovering. He's now 18 years old. No brain damage, no lung damage, no eye damage, no evidence of what he's been through. He's getting ready to graduate high school. He's going on to college. And if it was not for the prayers of his mother, he would be in a grave. So it's so powerful. And Chrissy Metz from the hit show This Is Us, she stars as Joyce Smith, and she does a brilliant, powerful job. The son is played by Marcel Ruiz from the Netflix show One Day at a Time. We also have all-stars like Josh Lucas and Topher Grace and Dennis Haysbert and Mike Coulter, who played Luke Cage. We have an incredible cast.
Wow.
And I'm so excited about this film. I've been involved with a lot of films in my 20-year history in Hollywood, but this is by far the most powerful one.
When does it come out?
April 17th.
April 17th.
Wednesday before Easter. So just in time. A resurrection story for resurrection time.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Incredible. Well, what do you want men to get out of this book? Like, what is your true heart and true passion for men to get from this book?
Help and hope. Help in that a lot of men suffer silently, are secretly overwhelmed, and really have a lot of pressure that they don't talk about. So as men, I wanted us to know there's help, because sometimes there's these thoughts and these feelings, and you don't know who you can talk to. So when we don't talk, we suppress. But whatever we suppress, we empower. Whatever we empower, it can destroy us. So I wanted men to read this book and say, okay, I'm not crazy. Okay, there is a way. And then hope, like, okay, I can become better. And here's the value of becoming better. Here's why I must become better. Those are the things I want men to get out of it, because the book is really about love. When we learn to love, that's where the hope is. That once we tap into that love within, that is what leads us to becoming better. And for women reading this book, because the book is for men and women, I want women to have hope too, and information. I want women to be equipped to know who they're dealing with in us as men, and bring them out of the dark into the light. Here's who you're dealing with. Here's what you need to know. And this knowledge, I believe, this book will be the difference maker in their life and in their relationship.
Man, amazing. Well, now you heard it. DeVon Franklin is in the city. Come and get this book right now, The Truth About Man. Go and see The Breakthrough on April 17th.
You got it.
It's going down. You're listening to Revolt Radio. Hallelujah.